Hello everybody and welcome back to another prediction video, breakdown video of the full UFC card. It's going to be a good one this weekend. It's a very stacked card, looking forward to it. It feels like a pay-per-view this weekend, to be honest. Well, anyway, getting into the first fight, Claudio Silva versus Nicholas Dalby. A very low level fight, if you want me to be honest here. I mean, you have Nicholas Dalby. What was his last did he fight last? He fought Tim Means over a year ago. I mean, losing to Tim Means, I mean, you know, it's not a great loss to have. And Court McGee also is a pretty bad loss to have. And James Krause took on like 2 weeks' notice and beat him quite easily with like one leg. But yeah, I mean, I think Nicholas Dalby gets it done in this fight for sure. Dalby has the striking advantage, in my opinion, and has that like karate base, but when he enters the pocket, he likes to like get in a boxing stance, through some hooks, through some hands, and I think that will pay dividends in this fight for sure. Silva, 39. Yes, Dalby's 37, but you know, Silva's an old 39 now. He hasn't looked great in his last 2 performances, and his last win was almost 3 years ago. That's a big thing in this matchup. He hasn't won in almost 3 years. He's had so many layoffs in his career. So he has like, that's a year, 14-month layoff, and that's like a 6-month layoff. But you know what I mean? Like, if you look at his record, he's had many layoffs throughout his career. But yeah, when he was first in the UFC, he looked quite good. But now, being 39, not looking great in his last 2 performances, losing to someone like Court McGee, it's not a great sign, to be honest. Silva also kind of gasses quite hard late in the fight, and if he can't get this fight to the ground, which I don't see him doing, because I think Nicholas Dalby will have the strength advantage, yeah, I think Dalby will just piece him on the feet for the whole 3 rounds to get a decision win. And I think, yeah, I just think Nicholas Dalby, but having that strength, having that reach advantage, and he's kind of got a size advantage. He's got a big ass torso, Nicholas Dalby. But yeah, I think he can get that, get it done for sure. Moving on up the card, Mandy Bohm versus Victoria Leonardo. Another low level fight. To start, I mean, it gets better. Okay, it does get better here. Nicholas Bohm, Mandy Bohm versus Victoria Leonardo. I think Mandy Bohm can get it done for sure. Just like looking back at Mandy Bohm's last performance, she did not look great. She got hurt in the feet, didn't she, against Lipski, and she got taken down, didn't she? But I just can't see that being a problem for her in this fight. Victoria Leonardo coming off a broken arm, which is a big thing for me in this fight. If you're betting on it, you have to take that into consideration for sure. Because like, is she going to be the same after a broken arm? And she's a pretty small flyweight, to be honest. Look at the reach advantage. There's a 6-inch reach advantage for Mandy Bohm here, so I think she'll be able to keep it on the feet. I don't see Leonardo taking her down or even hurting her on the feet here. And I think Mandy Bohm will be the outstriker for the whole 3 rounds, get decision victory. Mandy Bohm's record is a bit suspect. She's 7-1, 7-0 before getting into the UFC. She fought absolute bums, so she has before getting into the UFC, so it's kind of like a padded record. Both ladies are pretty bad at fighting, to be honest. I mean, that's women MMA for you, but I think that Mandy Bohm can just keep it on the feet, outstrike her. I mean, she's been off for 9 months, so surely she's made some improvements in her stand-up, grappling, clinch game. And 11 months ago, we saw Victoria Leonardo in her last fight get a broken arm and had to be stopped. So that doesn't give me good confidence in someone breaking their arm. Because it's always going to be on their mind. Surely they're not going to be able to, like, I don't know, come back and just instantly be on it. So yeah, I'm going to go with Mandy Bohm in that fight for sure. Moving on up the card, we have Herbert, the Black Country Banger, versus Kyle Nelson in the next fight. Sorry, I thought someone was coming in. Yeah, I've got Jai Herbert in this fight for sure. I just don't think Kyle Nelson's very good. He doesn't have a good gas tank. He hasn't fought in almost 2 years, as you can see against Billy Quarantillo, where he just got destroyed. He gassed out quite heavily in that fight. And Jai Herbert, even though he lost in his last fight, he looked really good against Ilia Topuria. But the one thing I would say, it's worrying that it was only 2 months, almost 3 months ago since he last fought, and it was a big knockout. Big knockout. So, I mean, is his chin fully recovered? I honestly don't think his chin's that good in the first place. And he's coming up against a Kyle Nelson, a guy with big power, big hooks, big, he's quite a powerful striker. But I think Kyle Nelson's a guy that is won in like one round and he's bust. One round and he's a bust fighter. I think Jai Herbert should win this fight. I think he's a better overall striker. I can't see Kyle Nelson getting this to the ground, and that's like probably the weakest part about Jai Herbert's game, and it's probably his defense. To be honest, I mean, he's 1-3 in the UFC, but god damn, he has been fighting absolute demons in the cage. Francisco Trinaldo 2 years ago. That's a younger Francisco Trinaldo, so he's a really good fighter. Who's this? Renato Mcann. He's a good fighter, obviously. He beat Camel Worthy. I mean, Camel Worthy's pretty bad, but Ilia Topuria, he almost knocked Ilia Topuria out if it wasn't for his godlike chin. So I'm picking Jai Herbert here for maybe a second round TKO when Kyle Nelson's best round is gone. Jai Herbert I can't see him getting hit clean by Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson is not an accurate striker at all. And I think Jai Herbert should be able to get this one done. I think he's the better overall fighter. His striking's way better. And Kyle Nelson being 2 years off, that's a big... it's worrying. It's worrying for sure. But if you're looking at betting this fight, I'd probably be thinking a TKO. TKO Jai Herbert, because he's quite a wide favorite, isn't he? Where's the odds? Can't even see. Oh yeah, there we go. Minus 275. Yeah, that's quite big. So I mean, I don't think this fight goes the distance for sure. I really don't. I can't see that. So yeah, going on to our next fight. On to our next fight, we have Muhammad Mokaev versus Charles Johnson. This is going to be a very interesting fight. We're going to see a lot from Muhammad Mokaev. If he goes out here and just starches or like submits Charles Johnson in the first round, we're looking at a future world champ for sure here. We're looking at a special fighter anyway. But yeah, I think Charles Johnson has good kickboxing. He's got some pro boxing experience, so he does. But I think Muhammad Mokaev, with the grappling advantage and just the overall game, is going to be able to get this fight to the ground and get a first round submission. I feel like he's just going to be too much for Charles Johnson, and we're going to see a big win for Muhammad Mokaev, making a statement and on his path to be the youngest UFC champion. I don't know if he can be, but you know, he's got a year, so he'll probably have to fight 4 times next year to get there, but you never know. This guy's special, and I really do think that he's gonna be very hard to beat in the UFC. I mean, he's 23-0, 27-0. What is it again? It's something like that. I as an amateur, started fighting when he was 14 or 15. So it's not like he's lacking experience, but the one thing I would say, 21 and being that heavily of a favourite, that can be worrisome. But like I said, you know, having that many amateur fights before even going professional is, you know, that's good to have at such a young age. So it's not like he's going to have any nerves or anything, because like you saw in his last fight, he just went out there, flying knee Cody Durden and submitted him inside, 3 minutes, was it? Let me check. I think it was inside 3 minutes. You can't even check. But yeah, it was inside like 3 minutes or something. So I've got Mokaev by submission, first round, but I wouldn't be so confident. Like I said, Charles Johnson's definitely a step up in competition. For sure, he's got some good kickboxing. He's got some good boxing. He's got a good left hook. He's got a good teep kick up the middle. But I think Mokaev's going to be too much, and he's going to be able to get this fight to the ground or latch on to a guillotine choke. Moving on up the card to our next fight, Mr. Finland versus JSP. I've got Mr. Finland in this fight for sure. I think he's gonna anaconda him, do his little special anaconda on him. What will that be, like his fifth or something? He's got 5, doesn't he, in the UFC? I just think JSP is just too. He just makes too many mistakes on the ground, and that's where he wants this fight. I mean, not where this fight per se, but that's where like his main game is: get this fight to the ground, put a high pace on someone. I mean, that could be good against Mcann in this fight for sure, because Mcann doesn't have a great gas tank. But I think that Jonathan Pearce will make a mistake, and I think Mcann's grappling it's really good. We'll be able to snatch on a neck or something here. From JSP, like I said, making a bad mistake, going for a takedown or something like that, or in a grappling exchange, he just wraps something up real quick. Amirkhani is very, very dangerous in that first round, but I don't really like to bet on first round fighters, to be honest, but it's a grappler versus grappler matchup. I just think that Mcann's BJJ in this fight is going to be going to help him massively in this fight for sure. I think if Jonathan Pearce can get this fight into the second round, you're looking at he has a good chance to win this fight for sure. That might be a good live betting opportunity if you're like wanting to play that. But I mean, that's if it makes it out of the first round, which I don't think it will. I think Amirkhani gets I think it's his 5th or 6th anaconda choke in the UFC, and yeah, he looked quite good in his last fight against Mike Grundy, wasn't it? Yeah, he anaconda choked him. So yeah, I just think that his BJJ will be too much for Jonathan Pearce, and even his like boxing, it's improved over the years. It's still not great, but he has taken some time out. He did some amateur fights, I'm pretty sure, in that like stint he was off. I think it was just before this fight, or was it just before that one? He took like a stint off, and came back. His boxing looked a lot better, and he has fought some killers, man. Like Edson Barboza at featherweight's a killer. He's really good. He's reinvented himself almost at featherweight. Kirk's he's not great, but Leroy Murphy, he's a really good prospect at featherweight. So I just think like GSP, yeah, he wishes, bro. JSP, Christian Rodriguez isn't great. Omar Morales isn't great, and he left himself in a lot of bad positions in that fight. Precisely, and Kai Kamaki, he's not even in the UFC anymore. He's in Bellator, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, give me Mcann Amirkhani by first round submission, anaconda choke, precisely. Moving on up the card, we have, who is it? Yes, it's Nathaniel Wood versus Charles Rosa. I have Nathaniel Wood in this fight all day. He's coming off a loss to Casey Kennedy, but in my opinion, I thought he won that fight, and he took it on like 2 weeks' notice, which is quite impressive to, in my opinion, beat Casey Kennedy. But yeah, I just don't see how Charles Rosa beats him in this fight at all. Charles Rosa is coming down to 145 this late in his career at 35 years of age. It's not a good sign. It just alarms ringing in my head. That's not a great sign. He has not looked good in his previous fights at all, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. He's won 2 in 2 years. It's not great. And Nathaniel Wood, I mean, yeah, he hasn't won into it. He's won 1 in 2.5 years, but look who he's fighting. He fought John Dodson. He looked actually quite good in that fight, and then just got dropped. That's shit happens, you know. He beat got John Castaneda. I can really say that name. And then he lost to Casey Kennedy, but like I said, I thought he won that fight. I think that since Nathaniel Wood is taking this seriously, he's going up to 145 and he's been putting on muscle. It's not like he's going to be very undersized here. He has taken the time. I think he was saying this or something. He wanted to like make sure he was like ready for 145, so that's a good sign. And I don't think Charles Rosa will be able to get this fight to the ground. I mean, that's like the only way I see him winning this fight, which I can't see him winning this fight, to be honest, is getting this to the ground using his BJJ. He's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but the thing is, he's been controlled by a lot of guys down there, I don't think he has the grappling offense either to get Nathaniel Wood to the ground. Maybe the size advantage, but like I said, Nathaniel Wood has been bulking up for this 145 division, and I see Nathaniel Wood getting a stoppage in this fight. Let's go third round TKO, but take it with a pinch of salt, because I don't think I think Charles Rosa has been finished once, or just I don't think he's ever been finished with one of his losses. But I just feel like Nathaniel Wood is gonna be too quick. He's gonna be younger. He's gonna be faster. I think he has more power. And the grappling is quite close. I mean, look at the odds. Almost minus 500. That's a wide margin. Maybe I wouldn't have it that far apart. Maybe like minus 300, minus 250. But yeah, I think Nathaniel Wood should be able to get this done very easily. Wouldn't be surprised if this goes to decision, but I'm feeling a Nathaniel Wood statement victory here. TKO third round. Going on to our next fight, we have Mark Diakiese taking on Damir Hadzovic. I have Mark Diakiese in this fight, the bone crusher here, all day. Excuse me, holy shit. I just feel like Mark Diakiese is improving. Like, he really is improving. I mean, he's 3-2 in his last 5. That's not a great record, but look at the guys he's fighting. Rafael Vaziev, Rafael Alves, he's actually looking pretty good recently. Rafael Alves, even though the 19-10 record doesn't say so. But in my opinion, I thought he not won against Rafael Vaziev, but he won the third round. He looked really good in the third round against him. And I mean, everyone kind of looks good in the third round against Vaziev because cardio is not great. But I mean, that's kind of debatable. He just KO'd what's his name, RDA in the 5th round, but yeah, you know what I mean. He does slow down as the fight goes on. And Damir Hadzovic has some good boxing, he has some good combinations, but I just feel like Mark Diakiese, by even adding that wrestling into his game, his last fight, he was wrestling quite hard on Borshev. I'm so bad at saying names, so forgive me. I think he took him down 11 times or 12 times in that fight, which is really impressive. I mean, Borshev didn't really show any like resistance, but you know, it's good to see Mark Diakiese having some fight IQ and you know, adding some wrinkles into his game for sure. Damir Hadzovic, when he fights like somewhat decent opponents, he doesn't beat them. He really doesn't. Like Paulo Reyes is in the UFC. I don't think Nick Klein is even in the UFC anymore. I don't even know. And Yancy Morados is in Bellator now. So I just don't think he's that impressive. I don't really think he's that good, to be honest. And I see Mark Diakiese getting a statement victory by KOing him in the I'm thinking first round, to be honest. I just don't think Damir Hadzovic has looked good recently. Like I said, I mean, yeah, he beat Yancy Morados, but I mean, if you're not finishing Yancy Morados, you know, it's not a good look for you. It really isn't a good look. But yeah, I think Mark Diakiese is going to be able to keep, even on the feet, he has the better kicks I think it's close boxing wise, but I think by having the slight reach advantage, using his kicking game, using his kickboxing, you'll be able to piece him up on the feet and just destroy him, to be honest. By Damir trying to get in close, and he'll just, I don't know, hit him with a big shot in the way in, and I think he'll KO him for sure. Yeah, so my pick is first round TKO Mark Diakiese. Going on to our next fight, we have Ludovic Klein versus Mason Jones. I really like Mason Jones here in this fight, just because I feel like his boxing will be able to he will be able to get it close, inside the pocket, and maybe use some of his takedowns in this fight. The one thing I would say, taking on short notice maybe it's not a great sign, but I think Mason Jones has been looking for a fight for some time now, so I don't think he'll come in really bad shape or like gas out in the first round or anything. He's got quite good cardio, and he likes to like wrestle. He's got some, like I said, some good boxing, and he's got a granite chin. So, yeah, I think Ludovic Klein has some really good kickboxing. He's got some good high kicks. Who did he fight? This is Shane Young. Yeah, it was head kick and then punches, and then he got Devontae Smith. He beat Devontae Smith in his last fight. But like, Ludovic Klein has struggled with people that would put him on his back foot, press him, try and grapple with him, try and get him to the ground, and I think that's Mason Jones' game. So I think stylistically this is going to be a big problem for Ludovic Klein, and I think that Mason Jones will be able to get it by decision. That's my pick here. Mason Jones by decision. He'll be able to use that nice boxing of his. He's got a good chin, and I think he'll be able to grind him out all 3 rounds. So yeah, give me Mason Jones by decision. On to our next fight, we have Paul Craig taking on Volkan Oezdemir. I have Paul Craig in this fight by submission. I just think that Volkan Oezdemir, he hasn't looked great, and I think that Paul Craig has been making some big improvements in his grappling game. Yes, he's always been a really good BJJ guy, but look at was it Shogun? Yeah, it was Shogun. He couldn't even take down in their first fight, and then a year later he was able to just take him down, just manhandle him. So there's big improvements in Paul Craig for sure, and I think his boxing is actually really well improved, and I think that even if he can't get this fight to the ground against Volkan Oezdemir, he has quite decent takedown defense. I think he'll be able to pull guard and latch onto something, latch onto any limb he can find, or even his signature triangle choke that somehow many fighters still fall for. It's crazy to me, but I like Paul Craig used to be one of those guys that would just throw up a Hail Mary, like it was just a Hail Mary like kind of attempt to win the fight, but now I feel like he's able to like box well. His defense is kind of questionable especially against a guy like Volkan Oezdemir, who has big power in his hands, but I feel that Paul Craig will be able to get this done by submission in the, give me second round. People are going to say first, why not going first, but I just feel like Volkan Oezdemir can maybe get out of the first round, and then I think he'll be like tired, and Paul Craig will be able to get the takedowns much easier and find that submission. I'm gonna say arm triangle. This is just my prediction, but I do feel like Paul Craig will get a submission in this fight, whatever submission it is. I just feel like Volkan Oezdemir's overall grappling on the ground, like his submission defense, isn't great. And he hasn't looked that much improved in his last few fights. He's actually, who did he lose to in his last? I can't really remember. Magomed Ankalaev, okay, and Yuri Prochazka, where he got viciously KO'd in that fight. So Paul Craig has has been sparring with Tom Aspinall, who's a heavyweight. So, you know, he's been making some improvements in his overall game training with guys like Tom Aspinall, which is very like promising to see him getting different looks from like better sparring partners than the guys up in Scotland who aren't. They're not great, are they? Let's be honest. So yeah, give me Paul Craig by submission in the second round. Moving on to a woman that I actually like watching fight, to be honest. I don't really like women's MMA because it's just very non-technical. It's pretty bad, to be honest, apart from like the top 5 strawweight. Anyway, sorry, that's another debate for another video. But yeah, I think that Molly Mcann, she's just ferocious, isn't she? She just comes out swinging. Yeah, I just think she'll be too much for Hannah Goldy in this fight. Hannah Goldy's not looked great. I mean, she was off for like a year, wasn't she? And she came back and she just didn't look much improved, to be honest. So yeah, I just think that, you know, Hannah Goldy doing her OnlyFans, you know, maybe that's like the way she should go now. Nah, I'm just playing. Yeah, she has an OnlyFans. It's terrible. But yeah, it's just like, it's like weird, like what kind of things I have to say about women's MMA, isn't it? It's, I don't know. But yeah, give me Molly Mcann to use her boxing this fight, use her forward pressure, and I think she'll get it done by decision. I don't think Hannah Goldy can get this fight to the ground. Molly Mcann has struggled with wrestlers, but she's been improving a lot in that area, and yeah, I think that there's a reason why Molly McCann's a big favorite, and she fights really well under you know, like a local crowd. I just think her forward pressure, her clinch game, and her just overall like tenacity is going to win her this fight, like it always really does when she wins fights. She was on like a 2-loss streak, but then like reinvented herself, and is on a 2-fight win streak. In her last performance, she looked really good. Spinning elbow, one of the knockouts of the year for sure. I have Molly McCann in this fight, but I mean, I might just like throw some money at Hannah Goldy, to be honest, because that's women's MMA. I'm gonna start doing underdogs, like banning every single underdog in women's MMA, because if you didn't know, if you added up all the like if you just put on, I don't know, let's say a tenner, $10, £10, whatever your currency is, you would have, it'd be plus money on underdogs in women's MMA. So that just shows how bad and random women's MMA is. So yeah, I have Molly McCann by decision. Yeah, that's going to go all 3 rounds. Molly McCann by decision. Moving on to our next fight, we have Krylov versus Gustafsson. I think Krylov gets this done. I think his overall grappling advantage, as we've seen in Gustafsson's last, is it 3 losses now? Against Anthony Smith, he fought. Yeah, it was Anthony Smith. His last 3 losses have all came from guys who took him to the ground. So he hasn't won in 5 years. That is crazy. Like, but yeah, give me Nikita Krylov in this fight. I just feel like even in the kickboxing, Krylov is very underrated, man. Like against Ankalaev in his not his last performance, but second last performance, like he put up a really good fight against him, and he was doing really well in the first round. He was making Magomed Ankalaev stuff a lot of his takedowns. I just think that Alexander Gustafsson, it's like his grappling is just not great, especially in his like later on in his career. For some reason, like he wasn't getting exposed like this you know, earlier in his career, but now later on he's just like terrible in the grappling. I feel like Nikita Krylov able to get this fight to the ground, maybe in the second round. Maybe Gus can win the first round, possibly, but I feel like by like maybe tiring Gus out in the first round, but maybe clinching with him, trying to take him down. I think that Krylov gets his fight done by... I really don't know. I don't know if decision or submission here. It's tough to say. I'll go decision in this fight. I think Krylov gets it done by decision. I think he'll be able to get the fight down to the ground every single round, and I think that Gustafsson from his back will probably just try and survive and not really try and get a sweep or try and find a way to oh my god, sorry, I'd like say that whole like 3 lines trying to burp, but you know what I mean. Like I just feel like Nikita Krylov will be too much for him in the grappling exchanges, and yeah, I'm surprised that like the line isn't wider. I mean, when was Gus' last fight? 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. He was fighting at what did he weigh in there? 240 pounds. So he was obviously heavyweight. Against Verdum, he was like washed at that point. I was a washed Verdum. But yeah, I have Nikita Krylov by decision. He'll get the takedowns. He's actually quite a good kickboxer. A very underrated fighter in the light heavyweight division. Even in his last fight, he got submitted by Paul Craig. However, he was actually looking pretty good in that fight until he got caught. But I mean, that's like how Paul Craig goes, to be honest. But yeah, give me Nikita Krylov by being able to take him down. And yeah, just lay on him the whole 3 rounds and get a decision victory. Moving on to our next fight, we have Paddy Pimblett versus Jordan Leavitt. I have Paddy Pimblett in this fight pretty confidently. The UFC know what they're doing. I mean, Jordan Leavitt has not looked good in the UFC. I know, what is his record? 3-1? 3-1 it is, 3-1, yeah. He's fought very low competition though, like Matt Sales. If you're losing to Matt Sales, you know, I'm pretty sure Kyle Nelson lost to Matt Sales, so that's another thing for the Herbert fight. But yeah, I just feel like the one thing that Paddy does struggle with is guys with big power in their hands, you know, good boxers, because like we've seen, Paddy Pimblett's you know, striking defense is pretty poor, overall pretty poor. So, but I just feel like Jordan Leavitt will not be able to like you know, do anything on Paddy Pimblett on the feet. I think Paddy Pimblett, with his overall power advantage, will be able to get this fight finished in the first round by TKO. I don't think he'll starch him, but I think he'll hurt him and knock him out in the first round. I mean, submission could be there, but like we've seen, Jordan Leavitt is actually quite a good BJJ practitioner, so I think he'll be safe in the ground against Paddy. Paddy's obviously that's probably his best attribute, is grappling, but I think he should use his striking advantage here, and his power advantage for sure. And like I said, Jordan Leavitt is not a powerful guy at all, and I think I don't see Paddy Pimblett getting like TKO'd or KO'd by Jordan Leavitt in this fight. So yeah, give me Paddy Pimblett by first round TKO. He's gonna absolutely make a statement win victory. I mean, not really a statement against a guy like Jordan Leavitt, but you know what I mean. Like the crowd is gonna absolutely erupt when he wins, and I'm not surprised because, you know, people in the UK love him. Even like my friends that don't watch MMA at all know who Paddy Pimblett is. So he's a big star, and I have a feeling that he will be able to get this fight done in the first round against Jordan Leavitt, who doesn't have much power. I don't think he has the grappling to get Paddy Pimblett to the ground. If he does, Paddy Pimblett won't just stay there. I mean, he'll be looking for submissions off his back. He'll be scrambling up to his feet. He'll be sweeping him. Yeah. Yeah, I think Paddy Pimblett. I'm surprised the odds aren't slightly wider than this, minus 260. I thought it would have been like a minus 400, to be honest, the way the odds in this card are. I think people are respecting Jordan Leavitt too much because he's 10-1, and people are saying he's gonna twerk in Paddy, but honestly, like, I just feel like Paddy will be too much for him in this fight. So yeah, give me Paddy Pimblett by first round TKO. Going on to our next fight, we have Jack Hermansson versus Chris Curtis, the action man. I love Chris Curtis fighting, man. I really do. His fighting style is fun to watch. Really good boxer. Since he's came into the UFC, he's 4-0, isn't he? Or is he 3? He's 3-0. Phil Hawes, that's a really good win. Phil Hawes has looked really good in his last few performances. And Brandon Alvin, that's one of the best guys outside the top 15, and Rodolfo Vieira. So he's fought 3 guys there outside the top 15. Probably the best 3 guys outside that top 15 at middleweight. So yeah, I've got him in this fight. I feel like Jack Hermansson won't be able to get this fight to the ground. Chris Curtis's takedown defense, I'm pretty sure it's 100% in the UFC. And Jack Hermansson hasn't looked great in his last few performances against Sean Strickland, wasn't it? Yeah, he was just he couldn't get close to Sean Strickland to even take him to the ground. I don't know how that was a split decision. That is crazy to me. I had Sean Strickland winning all 4 rounds to 1 or 3 rounds to 2. I don't think I even won 2 rounds, to be honest. I think it was 4-1 I gave Strickland. However, Hermansson has good Greco-Roman wrestling. He's good at getting into the clinch, using his throws, getting his hands clasped and just throwing you to the ground. That's kind of his takedowns he likes to do. But I feel like Chris Curtis has a big striking advantage in this fight. I feel like Jack Hermansson's very sloppy on the feet. He's got some decent kicks, but Chris Curtis here, I feel like he's just gonna do a Strickland, to be honest. Just from the outside, just use his jab the whole fight, stay away from Jack Hermansson's grappling. Look at his last performance against Rodolfo Vieira. My god, that man's takedown defense, as soon as Rodolfo Vieira was shitting, bro, he was already on the ground sprawling. That man's takedown defense is really good. And I just feel like the way Chris Curtis is going to be very confident, so he will be, and he'll be he'll be, like I said, he'll be full of confidence. And Jack Hermansson, coming off a loss to Sean Strickland, who's in the same camp as Chris Curtis, I just feel like Chris Curtis is going to be too much for him. One thing to note is Chris Curtis is taking this on short notice, 4 weeks or 3 weeks, but the thing is, he was fighting Rodolfo Vieira a month ago, so it's not like he's taking the fight on actually 3 weeks notice. He's probably taking this fight on a 3 months training camp. So that's a really good guy to fight, especially when you're fighting Jack Hermansson next. Rodolfo Vieira, he likes to get this fight to the ground. Jack Hermansson does the same. So yeah, give me Chris Curtis by, I'd probably say, I feel like TKO against Jack Hermansson. Jack Hermansson's kind of a tough guy, but if he can't get it to the ground, he's struggled a lot on the feet. But Sean Strickland isn't that guy that is going to try and go out there like he seems like he would think he does, is go out there and try and kill you. But he's not that type of guy. He likes to fight safe, jabs you from and scores points. But Chris Curtis, on the other hand, gets in close, likes to throw some hard shots, and I feel like one of those shots is going to hurt Jack Hermansson. So yeah, give me Chris Curtis by TKO. Going on to our next fight, we have the main event. This is a big test for Tom Aspinall, but I think he'll get it done for sure. I have Tom Aspinall by submission. I really do. People are going to be like, wait, what? You think he's going to take Curtis Blaydes down? I really do. I really do think he'll mix in his wrestling in this fight. Curtis Blaydes, I mean, he's looked better in his last few fights, but I just feel like even him trying to take Aspinall down, I don't think he'll hold him down if he gets a takedown. Aspinall's BJJ is probably some of the best in the upper echelon of heavyweight for sure. Against Andrei Arlovski, he was kind of finding it difficult on the feet, and then I just took him down and just mauled him. Well, not mauled him, he basically took the fight down, took his back and choked him out very quickly. And people were pointing out that was I wasn't a great performance, but people have to remember Tom Aspinall was fighting his idol in that fight, and he just made the right adjustment, just took him down, finished the fight very quickly. So you can't really like say that's a bad performance. And even if it was, look at his last two performances against Sergey Spivak, who he elbowed and then destroyed him in the first round, wasn't it? And then Volkov, that's really impressive. I mean, even if Curtis Blaydes can get this fight to the ground, like, he showed that like his cardio is not great. Like when he's going for takedowns over and over and over and over and over, like as we've seen in the Volkov fight. Volkov, he took him down like a million times in that fight, but in the fifth round, like, it looked like he was about to have a cardiac arrest. Like, he was done. He was absolutely gassed. So yeah, give me Tom Aspinall by submission in the, I'm thinking first round. I think he'll get it done in the first round for sure. I mean, Curtis Blaydes does have good boxing, but it's not on the level of Tom Aspinall. And if you saw a clip of Darren Till punching pads and then Tom Aspinall, they were like side by side, and like Tom Aspinall has unbelievable hand speed for a heavyweight. Like, it's insane how fast he is. So I think that Tom Aspinall's speed here on the feet will also cause him problems. But yeah, give me Tom Aspinall by submission. Like, I don't think that's a bad bet, really. I don't think Curtis Blaydes has good BJJ at all, and you know, I think he'll be surprised if he's on his back. So yeah, give me Tom Aspinall by submission in the first round. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown. There's some very like confident picks. Like, the most confident picks I'll go through are probably Paddy Pimblett. I'm not saying women's MMA, no way. Paddy Pimblett, Nathaniel Wood, Muhammad Mokaev, Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert's my most confident one. People are gonna say you're crazy for that being your most confident one, but I just can't see Cal Nelson beating him. Cal Nelson's like terrible, and he's moving up a weight class also. So it's not like maybe his power won't last or won't carry up to lightweight. But yeah, probably my best bets are Jai Herbert by TKO, Muhammad Mokaev by sub, or Mcann Amirkhani by sub. I mean, people are actually fancying Charles Johnson to maybe win, but I just can't. I can't. Or not really win, but cause him some problems on the feet. But I don't think so. Yeah, but Mcann Amirkhani by submission, that might be a good one to attack. But he's already plus money, so you know, is it really one you want to go for? And I think, I mean, you might be able to get greedy with it, and I think Paul Craig by submission might be a good one. But yeah, here you have it. That's my picks for UFC London. It feels like a pay-per-view event, doesn't it, really? It's a great card. It's better than the UFC 281, so yeah. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.